Welcome to the Shadow Hour. Time is a fragile illusion. We wear it like a chain, assuming it stretches forward forever. Tick by tick, breath by breath. But tonight's story is about a place where time comes undone, where minutes collapse like wet paper, where every hallway leads back to a memory you never lived. This tale was pulled from a corrupted tape, unlabeled, found inside a melted camera, wrapped in plastic and barbed wire, buried behind a wall in a house that no longer appears on any map. They went looking for ghosts and found something worse. Tonight's entry is called The House That Traps Time. The footage begins with static, then slowly it resolves. A narrow two-lane road cutting through fog and overgrowth. The headlights of a parked car flicker weakly, already dimmed by rot. Beyond the mist, up on Black Hollow Ridge, stands the house. It's not condemned. It's forgotten. A sagging Victorian, its windows weeping rust, its shutters flapping like dying wings. At the peak, a crooked clock tower looms, its hands frozen at 12:16. The wind doesn't move the trees. The trees don't move at all. They stepped toward it, and the camera began to count backward. The front gate creaked open, but the hinges didn't move. The door yielded easily, as if it had been waiting. Inside, silence. Thick, unnatural silence. Not the kind of quiet left behind by time, but the kind that devours it. Faded wallpaper peeled from the walls in layers. Decades of color fading into rot. Portraits watched from the shadows, their faces smudged but not blurred. The air was too cold, the dust too still. The house felt more like a memory than a structure, and in the center of the foyer, a massive grandfather clock ticked, backward. They wandered deeper. The house stretched wider than its frame. Rooms repeated, hallways echoed themselves. The same painting appeared in 3 different wings. A cracked teacup sat on a windowsill. Then again, 4 rooms later. Each corridor twisted the rules of architecture. Stairs bent into walls. Windows looked out into other rooms. And the clocks were everywhere, ticking in erratic rhythms. Some fast, some backward, some frozen mid-tick, their second hands twitching. The footage slowed, not in playback, in reality. Time inside the house was no longer linear. In one room, a mirror taller than any doorway, its glass rippled like water. The camera panned toward it, and what it saw was horrifying. The figures reflected in the mirror weren't the same. They were older. Some wore different clothes. One had white hair where there was none before. Another was missing entirely. The camera operator lifted her hand, and the mirror did not follow. Instead, the reflection of her face cracked into age, eyes dull, skin sunken, years added in seconds. Then, the mirror went black, and the hallway behind her was no longer the one she'd come from. Further in, they found a room filled wall to wall with clocks. Grandfather clocks leaning like corpses. Pocket watches suspended from the ceiling by spider webs. Digital clocks flashing nonsense times. 25:82, 99:13. The ticking grew louder, overlapping, layering, until it sounded like whispering. In the center of the room sat a dusty CRT television. A VHS player clicked on by itself. A tape slid in, no label. The screen filled with static. Then faces, their own, in different seasons, different clothes, different years. One by one, they disappeared from the footage, until only a single figure remained, younger than the rest, smiling once, then screaming, then static. The footage becomes unstable, colors shift, walls twist, the explorers begin to change. One hunched over, his bones creaking, hair white. Another, reversing, her eyes too bright, skin too smooth. Time moves differently for each of them. One weeps in silence, aged beyond recognition. Another stares at his own hands, skin cracking like dry leaves. But there are no screams, only breathing, and clocks, always. Clocks. At last, an open door, light from outside. One of them runs, the youngest now, or the oldest. She escapes. The wind hits her like water. She stumbles down the hill toward a distant road. A car passes, then another. She flags one down, but the footage corrupts. And when it clears, she is standing alone in front of the house again. Only now, the house is gone. Only the ticking remains. The camera was discovered 50 years later, sealed inside the wall of a condemned school. No one remembered the house. No maps show Black Hollow Ridge. No people match the faces on the tape. Experts dated the footage, but every scan produced a different result. 1953, 1987, 2034. Each time they played the tape, the faces changed, and the house got closer. There are places where time decays, where it slips into cracks, where it festers in walls and dreams. The house that traps. Time is still out there, in some year, in some hour, waiting for someone to open its door again. But remember, when you step into a place that time has forgotten, time does not forget you. And sometimes, time bites back. Stay sealed, stay watching, and beware the hour when you age without moving. Welcome to the Shadow Hour.